Good afternoon and welcome to Landing Page Reviews. I'm Levi Nunnick. So before I start getting into some indie hacker landing page reviews, I wanted to talk about what I think makes a good landing page and do it in the form of kind of a case study. I have some kind of simple, the way I think about how what makes a good landing page is kind of simple. It's every landing page should tell a story in some way or another. And every story needs conflict, and every story needs resolution. And finally, it will end with a question of, would I turn the page? You can think about this in a dust jacket of a book. You open up a dust jacket and it's going to say, in a world where magic exists, one hero will have to go on a quest or something like that, right? They're trying to tell you something, so you'll open the book and turn the page. And that's kind of what I think about with every landing page should do. Someone's going to come to it, and you have a very short window of time to tell them to consolidate down all the things you've been working on for months, maybe years, which is really, really hard to do. You have to consolidate everything down that you've been working on into something that someone can really quickly read and understand enough that they're going to say, yeah, actually, I want to see how you're going to solve this problem. I'm going to turn the page. That's really hard to do, especially if you've been working on this problem and thinking about it from all sorts of different angles for a really long time. But that's what a good landing page will actually do. Like I said, what's the conflict? What's the solution? To get them to turn the page. So today I want to do a quick case study of what I think is an excellent landing page. And that landing page is Tupal. And you can find this at tupal.app. And Tupal is a remote pairing app for pair programming. So let's think about, maybe if I was building this product, how I might write this page. You could write this in a number of different ways, this problem. You could come at it from a kind of manifesto way where you could say it's 2019 and still there's no, and still remote pairing is really, really hard. That's not a bad way of doing it. You're kind of saying, here's the problem we're trying to solve. It's really hard to be a remote pair programmer. You could go super, super generic and you could say, Tupal helps you, brings your team together, brings your remote team together, right? So you're casting a really, really, really wide net in all remote teams. You could even possibly go higher than that and say Tupal is the future of communication, something like that. And there's a number of different ways you could think about this problem, right? Or you could say the best remote pair programming app, something like that. But let's look at how Tupal actually solves this problem. Look at this headline. Remember when we lost Screen Hero? We do too, and it made us sad. That's why we built its spiritual successor. That is how they're introducing the problem. Now, Screen Hero, this is a really interesting way of doing this. Screen Hero is an app that Slack purchased and shut down about 4 years ago. I remember it. But if you don't know what Screen Hero is, you might go, what are they talking about? But because I know what Screen Hero is, I'm immediately connecting with this page because look how it's speaking to me. It's like, hey, it's like the equivalent of someone asking you, hey, have you ever been to this town? And you go, yeah, I've been there too. So it's a very friendly way of talking because it's saying, remember when we, both of us, lost Screen Hero? And if you remember that, you're going to immediately connect with this page. Way more than if this just says, we're building the future of remote team pair programming. Okay, that's great. But now that I'm making a much deeper connection with this page by this headline. We did it too, and it made us sad. That's why we're building it. We've built its spiritual successor. So because I know what Screen Hero is, I'm immediately hooked here. You've already, I don't even know, there's no images, there's no videos on this homepage. There's not a lot here about the actual solution, but I can see that Tupal understands the problem. These guys are not are laser focused on solving the problem. And look at the stuff they get into. Details we've sweated, crazy low CPU usage, full-time control for 2, snappy interactions, right? Low latency. It's clear that these guys are so focused on the problem that I don't even have to see the product yet. I'm completely interested in how they're going to solve it. So because Tupal has done such a good job of introducing the conflict in a unique and friendly way that draws me in, I'm ready to turn the page. I don't need to know a lot about the solution. I'm ready to enter in my email right here and get my invite. And so that's kind of the first thing. And this page is really consistently good, I would say. This is all really well-written copy that's talking about the problem in a very direct. I mean, look at this. Have you ever tried to dictate some code for your repair to write or narrated a set of Vim commands? Not fun. That's a really specific sentence that's talking about really some very real world problems. It's not talking in a generic kind of high level way. It's talking directly, and it shows over and over again consistently that they understand this problem, and they're, by understanding it so well, I believe they're going to solve it really well, even though I haven't seen much of I'm not able to use the product right now. A couple other things too that I would say is how consistently good this page is that they're talking again in a very familiar way. They're informal. They're using an emoji here. And I can see that this is a small team focused on this problem. This isn't a huge company. So this Tupal, this company is not trying to be something that it's not. It's not trying to put across that it's three different guys. Look, I can even see their faces. Ben, Joel, and Spencer. I could get a link to their Twitter profiles. They aren't trying to be Slack. And so I know that if I start using this program, I can probably talk to one of the programmers who actually wrote it if I get a problem. It's kind of the difference between walking into your local coffee shop where you can go right up to the owner and walking into Starbucks, right? And that's what I would just encourage anyone who's building kind of an indie landing page for a small product. Don't try to hide that you're a small product. Don't try to shave off the rough edges, because that's part of the charm. That's part of the personal nature of the insight that you're going to have into the problem, and you're going to bring something unique to solving it. So don't try to look like you're a giant, huge company. And this is really hard. I've always struggled with this myself, because when you think about competition, when you're thinking like trying to understand the field that you're getting into with your app, you're going to be thinking about the big competitors. If you're building a chat app, you're going to be thinking a lot about Slack. If you're building a file sharing app, you're going to think a ton about Box and Dropbox. But that's not really that's not a very healthy exercise, because they could not be more different than you and have a more different set of priorities than you do. So I would encourage everyone to be who they are. Don't try to hide. Don't try to talk like you're a big company. Don't try to hide that fact, but own it. So that's why I think on every level, this is a great landing page. Well done, Tupal. And this is really inspiring to me. And I would definitely, I've already done it, but if I was just coming to this page for the first time, I would definitely enter in my email address and get on the invite list. If you would like me to review your landing page and just give my candid thoughts, I'd be happy to. Follow me on Twitter at Levi Nunick and just send me a message. And I'll record a video and post it up there.